Good morning to you on this Saturday, June the 6th. We've finished up another week, and the Lord's been faithful. Our devotion for today is entitled Friendship in Action. Quoting Proverbs 27:9, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Christian friends support one another through spiritual transparency. They are not only to honestly confess their own sins to each other, James 5:16, but they are to lovingly point out their friend's sins if he or she is blind to them, Romans 15:14. You should give your Christian friends hunting licenses, quote unquote, to confront you if you are failing to live in line with your commitments, Galatians 6:1. Christian friends are to stir one another up, even provoking one another to get them off dead center, Hebrews 10:24. This isn't to happen infrequently, but should happen at a very concrete level every day, Hebrews 3:13. Christian friends admit wrongs, offer to ask forgiveness, Ephesians 4:32, and take steps to reconcile when one disappoints another, Matthew 5:23 and following, and Matthew 8:18-15 and following. The other way is spiritual constancy. Christian friends bear each other's burdens, Galatians 6:2, once again. They should be there for each other through thick and thin, 1 Thessalonians 5:11 and 14 through 15. I'll read that sentence again. They should be there for each other through thick and thin, sharing their goods and their very lives with each other if there is need. Friends must encourage each other through honor and affirmation. They are to identify and call out one another's gifts, strengths, and abilities. They are to build up each other's faith through study and common worship. In other words, when it comes to Christian friendship, as we talked about yesterday, the uh, the friendship in action is what needs to be paid attention to, needs to be seen, needs to have its reality checked every day. Maybe I don't really know how to make any improvement on Tim Keller here, but it is about an everyday. If you need to correct me, okay. If I need to correct you, is it okay? Those kinds of things happen in marriage as well as just regular friendships with others. And especially in marriage, it's sometimes the party that's talking to the other may be concerned about how their comments are going to be received. And that's true in every case, I think. That we're friends with somebody, but we're afraid if we correct them or contradict them, that the friendship will be weakened. And it goes both ways. Friendship in action is, well, I like the second part of Proverbs 27:9. The pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. That's a key word, heartfelt advice. In other words, when you're friends with somebody and you're worried about them and what you hear them saying in the attitudes that they're revealing and sharing, um, if we're really good friends, we need to speak to each other. We need to suggest that we're seeing something that troubles you. And again, that's what a friend does. A friend sticks together, and no greater cost does a friend have for another than to lay down their life. That's the depth of Christian friendship. That is the depth of Christian friendship. If we only correct, we lose an important part of our friendship. Not only at times do we see the need to correct, we also see the need to encourage. And hopefully it goes 50-50 both ways so that one is not always hurtful and as opposed to the other. Friendship is it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing because when we become close friends with others, we begin to take it for granted that we agree. We begin to take it for granted that we know more than the other one knows. It's hard to explain real friendship, but Christian friends stir one another up, even provoking one another to get them off dead center. It's that stream of friendship comes with risky things at times because we can be afraid that if we correct a spouse, we correct a friend, we may lose something there. We don't want to do that. We want to help our friends recognize what we see, and vice versa, and vice versa as well. Not making a hurtful statement, not correcting your friend in a way that feels like you're attacking them or that you totally disagree with them in some way. That hurts a friendship badly. And it's something we need to be careful about. We need to be very, very careful about it. In this day and age, with so many things going on that are negative in our own country and around the world, it becomes a tightrope balancing act for us. And if we misstep, we may destroy that friendship and never get it back. And so we need to ask in prayer, we need to be in the word, we need to be careful of what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, how we're going to approach this other one, even though we love them and we have concern for them. Our thoughts need to be balanced well. We need a spiritual AI to clear up what we might be thinking ought to be said. And because we don't want to lose a friendship. Hopefully we don't. Sometimes we just write one off without even going to the other person. That's happened to me over the years. And you miss that. You miss that. I don't know why. Ever since Sue passed, I've constantly had these thoughts about people I knew back when, and the friendships that we had together, and the way we enjoyed each other's company, and we melded together, and then we drifted apart because we weren't going to the same places anymore. We weren't doing the same things anymore. It wasn't that our friendship broke up because I didn't like that person anymore. It broke up because we didn't share together anymore. And that's what friendship's about, sharing together those things that we enjoy, those things that make us laugh, those things that cause us to want to be together and be in each other's presence. That's friendship. And that's friendship, as the title today says, in action. We can call each other friend, but if it's not in action, it's not all that it ought to be. And it's something, again, it's another thing in our lives we need to work at. We need to work at it so as not to alienate people that have been our friends for a long time. So, blessings to you today. It's great having a friend, more than one actually. And it's why we ought to want to keep it strong and keep it enjoyable. So, blessings to you today.